Who's sick of the term hybrid workforce? Who's sick of the term work from home? Who's sick of the term remote work? Today, let's talk about those terms and what the future of work strategy truly is. I'm also sick of the term UCaaS. I've heard it so much over the course of the last 3 years, and everyone's like, well, Patrick, it's unified collaboration as a service, and you'd be right. It is. Some people would say, hey, Patrick, it's unified communication as a service, and they'd be right. The thing is, those are two completely different things. Collaboration is different than communication. And here's why. Collaboration is working with your colleagues or customers or external partners asynchronously or real time, i.e. team chat. Right? We're chatting back and forth, whether it's direct message or even in a channel. That could be absolutely real time, but it could be asynchronous as well. I could be talking to John 12 hours away in Australia, and we could still be collaborating. It's just not real time. We could be sending files back and forth. We are still getting work done asynchronously. Communication is all real time. Communication is webinars, is meetings, is phone calls, is conferencing room discussions. That's all real time communication. You can also mix the two together. You could be collaborating on data as well as communicating on voice and audio and video. Two completely different modalities though, smashed together to a term called UCaaS. What if I went out on a limb and said video meetings, video conferencing is a commodity today with every single conferencing and communication and collaboration platform out there. Every single application has it. What about audio conferencing? Is that a commodity? What about screen sharing? What about phone? Are you expecting every single application that you have to do all those things and all those things perfectly? Perfectly might be too strong a word. But what if you expected your communication and collaboration application to do all those things seamlessly and frictionlessly? So 3 years ago, they weren't a commodity and not everyone could do them perfectly. And then 3 years ago, when we were forced to go home and work, now every IT organization had to push out something to solve that problem. And over the course of the last 3 years, Teams and Zoom have done an amazing job of making that happen. Then remember, a vaccine came out and everyone says, oh, this working from home and this remote work, we're all going to go back to the office. And everyone's like, we don't need Teams and Zoom anymore. We're going to go back to the office and have meetings like we always did. Guess what didn't happen? We're not going back to the office like we thought we were. We're now a distributed workforce. We are no longer inside the office and outside the office and working from home and working remote. We're a blend of all those things. We're a distributed workforce globally now. And so having meetings and having phone calls and having audio conferencing and sharing our screens are now just a staple of our workforce. So what's going to set the next application apart from the rest when everyone can already do all those things that we just talked about? So if everyone can do meetings and phone and chat and webinars fine, what's the next level of communication that we need to solve? I think David Michaels brought it up really eloquently in his blog called Talking Points, is that we still have challenges to solve. We have work to do when it comes to creating those less formal aspects of work. Things such as team building and culture propagation, maybe even mentoring, as well as those ad hoc communication meetings. Those are just to name a few. And it's certainly not an easy problem to solve. And it's been something software companies have been trying to do for a long time. And the closest category is what Dave calls enterprise social. And there's been several attempts by many companies to do this. Microsoft had, Cisco had Quad. Salesforce has Chatter. Facebook has Workplace. Even Slack's attempted to do this. But none of them have got the social aspects of the office right, in my opinion. So now that we're post-pandemic, now that we're distributed workforce, now we need to solve for that next level of communication, that next level of collaboration, the enterprise social part. So Zoom's attempted to address this with a couple of new features that they've released. Zoom Huddles is an asynchronous way to have meetings, ad hoc meetings. Certainly one way to do it from a water cooler type perspective. They've also announced Zoom Clips, an asynchronous video messaging tool to address those type of more collaborative messaging with videos instead of just voicemails. But that's just part of the challenge. The next challenge is truly that enterprise social part. And for that, there's where Workvivo comes into play. If you haven't seen the announcement, Zoom just acquired Workvivo to address all those enterprise social needs that every single software company hasn't been able to nail recently. So with the Workvivo acquisition, Zoom will have a new set of proven communication and collaboration tools designed specifically for social and informal communications in the workplace. Workvivo already offers a company-wide information and interaction that drives transparency and engagement no matter where the user is located. They're trying to democratize access to information, basically, and offer an activity feed that keeps employees engaged, up-to-date events, activities, and news. There's an interactive forum. There's an employee directory and profiles, groups, even communities, even recognition features like and awards and trophies for criteria that you meet along the way. They even have centralized administration features to allow admins to analyze behaviors and adoption programs. So Zoom started out probably as a meetings company, as a application. Then they moved into a UCaaS platform, adding phone and contact center, even AI. Some would even say that adding email and calendaring to their Zoom solution expands that UCaaS offering. So you can kind of see the roadmap of where Zoom's trying to go with this acquisition. Well beyond just calls and chats and meetings, emails, webinars, contact center. Now they're trying to drive engagement from the social enterprise platform, driving culture and transparency with scheduled meetings, ad hoc meetings, real-time meetings, synchronous meetings, asynchronous meetings, in the office, out of the office, hybrid, or distributed. Zoom has obviously put a ton of strategy and effort into creating a roadmap that goes beyond applications, beyond UCaaS, and into the next level of communication and collaboration from the work platform. I do work for Zoom as a distinguished architect. I'm not a figurehead or spokesman for Zoom. I just like to talk about cool technology. And a lot of times that has to deal with Zoom. If you like this video, please follow me on LinkedIn, or better yet, subscribe to my YouTube channel where I dive deep into UCaaS and UCaaS platforms. But I don't like that word. Have a great day.